Let me get my
Oh,
mic on.
that's normal.
Yeah, I say that's, yeah, there's nothing out there and they're there.
Good evening.
Big crowd.
Today is February the 6th. It is 7:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Gotta get my glasses on.
Lord, we're meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. They gave you that tape of that little boy. You know, that said the Pledge of Allegiance. Tom's got it.
Tom's got it, so I'll get it to him. It's actually pretty good training.
Roll call, please.
I'm sure it's cost effective.
Lorraine,
Present.
Shoemaker,
Present.
Mathis,
Here.
Krug is present, Kessler,
Here.
Gopel,
Here.
Tucker.
Present.
You have a full board.
To the members of the audience, we are televised. We will be televised on Charter Communications on channel 191. It'll probably start on Wednesday, and it goes for the next 2 weeks, but I'm not sure exactly the time. So if you want to get up and speak, you are welcome to come and speak and give your name, but you don't have to give your address.
But I know where you live.
Yeah, we know you. Approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? I have a request. Tom Broker just gave me a proposal for that piece of property on Fenton Road on the corner of Windsor and then whatever that by Dollar Lake that we tore down last week. And we can, this evening, talk about it to see if we want to accept the offer or hold back for a little bit and request, because we never thought we'd ever get an offer that fast. The house, or the property the building went down, and Tom, you got this proposal when?
Today, but I had 3 inquiries last week.
So we might get other bids on it. So anyway, I want to amend the agenda for that, for us to talk about it. A motion is in order to approve the agenda as amended.
It's moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. Included in the packet are the minutes for January 23rd regular meeting and the special meetings of January 23rd and January 30th. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to this meeting minutes? Looking at Mr. Tucker.
No, actually, they were clean.
Good. All right, the meeting minutes stand as approved as presented. Expenditures. Are there any questions regarding any of the expenditures that are in front of you?
I do. Tom, when you pull the invoice for Slaughter, I always say Expatec. I always want to put a C in there. Expectec is what I would have named it, but
Expected. Computer maintenance, okay.
is that the power supply going down? Or I couldn't tell even from the detail.
It looks to be mostly hourly charges. A lot of it was related to the network issues we had when the server went down. The power supply is in here.
Is that what the time is about too, or is it something else?
It actually, it looks like it's the whole month of January almost. But it did include that, but we've got January 10th,
You want water, Bob?
12th,
Got-
16th,
Thank you.
18th.
Are you the one that reviews these then, or who looked at it?
Yes.
Mhm.
Some of this fire station work, I know the chief was having some issues at the fire station with his network.
Tom?
Yes.
Can I ask, is the billing address out of Rochester, or is the company out of Rochester?
It's the billing address. I guess I think they're based there. We used to, the company that we dealt with prior to that was called BCL Computing Solutions. They were actually out of Westland, and they merged with Expatech, let's say a year or two ago. So it's the same people that we're dealing with, it's just a different corporate name.
Did we bid this out? Why aren't we using a local company? A lot of great companies locally.
That can be done. Brian and Jim have been with us for,
Oh, this is local. This is our computer people.
this isn't the
Familiar,
GIS.
but not local.
It's not local.
All right, well, you're talking though with Brian and
Brian and Jim.
Jim. Been with us for years.
If the board so chooses, we can solicit new proposals for,
What is that hourly rate?
I don't know this, I didn't have the details. Actually, if there isn't any time sensitivity, what I'd like you to just scan me those invoices.
Sure.
So I can look at them. I kind of knew some of the stuff that was going down, when it was going down. But I would like to see, my memory is his rate is 85
That's
an
correct.
hour.
That's correct.
I think that's what they've been charging, so, and that's not a bad rate. And I'm not trying to imply that I have anything against them either, I couldn't, I saw the $3,500 and that's unusually high, and I knew that we had a problem with the power supply, but I wanted to see what else there was, so.
I thought, see, I was in Florida. I thought you knew.
No, I knew about that, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying,
okay,
but I don't
good.
know how much of this invoice is for that.
I
and how much
gotcha.
of it's for other things. So if he's not,
A
he
breakdown.
can wait a couple of weeks, I just assume approve it without this one, send it out, I can look at it. I don't expect there's any problem, particularly if you looked at it, but since I've been diving into those, I feel the need.
Try to look to you. I have one more other question. Cook excavating. Are these charges part of the sewer?
Yes.
Because I look at the numbers, the pump station, 8,000, those numbers tie into our estimates for upgrading the system. So
Yes.
I just want to make sure
Yes.
that those are
Yeah.
okay.
And some of that, I was going to bring a chart. We've got quite a chart that they've got together in regards to what is going to be done, what has been done in regards to the bond. It's pretty big. I'm going to get it and we'll put it on a wall and you can come in my office or into that one room and be able to watch it. Because when he emails us and he tells us what's been done, or I'll have him come in and mark it. So,
Lawrence has been sending us emails, just kind of giving us a brief.
there you go.
So that's been helpful to me,
Uh-huh.
so I know exactly what's
I
going on.
got
In
a
case somebody asked me.
spreadsheet that I actually opened or tried to open, but it didn't, I don't know if it was problems on my computer end. Did anybody else?
It could have
get
been
that?
this.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Did it have substance in it? You were able to open
Yeah,
it?
it had
Okay.
a progression of the first ones that they're starting on, and
Okay.
I want to say it was almost the whole year.
I had to reboot, so then I, of course, forgot to reopen it after I did that. It'll probably be fine, I'll look it up when that comes along.
If you want, I could send mine to Tom and he could resend it out.
If I have a problem, when I try and open it again, I'll do that. I'm guessing from what you all are telling me, that it was probably whatever had fraggled my machine at that time probably prevented that from opening successfully. If it isn't, we'll resend it.
All right.
Just one more question.
Uh-huh.
Lawrence Engineering seems
Who?
to, Lawrence Engineering,
Uh-huh.
seems to always be about the same dollar amount. It runs within $2,000 or $3,000 almost every month. And I know Tom's probably getting the detail, but I see a single charge of $14,335, a single charge of $1,200, or $1,125. Do we get detail on that, Tom? Because it seems,
Yeah.
I've just been
Yeah, we do.
monitoring it myself, just mentally, and it seems like it's always the same number, no matter what month it is, how much work's being done, or I don't know, but it would be strange to me that the same amount of work's being done every month.
He was instructed by the sewer committee to don't go over a certain amount in regards to the billing. Because at some of the times it was just the budget, we just didn't have it. So as far as the repairs and things like that was going on, they said keep it, or we said keep it to a certain amount. You know, don't go higher than that as far as the billing goes. We still pay him everything that he deserves, but we don't have like a $17,000 bill at a time. Well, this one we do though, don't we?
Yeah. Well, no, what I'm saying is that what makes up these bills that are the same every month? Or are we just, he bid it for $230,000, we just divide it by 12 and it's off a little bit because,
No, it's an itemized hourly bill for engineer, project manager, and engineering
Roads.
tech or assistant.
so consistently every month we're within $1,000 or $2,000 every month.
Pretty close.
I'd have to look and see if that's the range, but it's always in the teens, I would say, yes.
Who reviews the
Could
bills?
you do me a favor, Mr. Tucker?
Tom does.
I would like you to review those for the last 12 months.
Oh, sounds like a great time. Okay.
Thank you. Because I don't understand it. Well, no, I'm just
No,
asking.
no.
I-
Well,
But you'll
I-
see different billings, Vince.
Yeah.
Like Tom said, you're gonna see sewer, you're gonna see site plan reviews, you're going to see roads, you're also gonna see about the drain. So, and they're broken down per department.
I'm not questioning Mr. Lawrence's
No, no,
company
no, but I'm
whatsoever.
saying
I'm
that's
just
why
saying that
you're
it seems
seeing
strange
different
to me that
bills.
every month it's almost the same. It's almost like he invoices this for this much every month. I would get suspicious of anyone, including a law firm, that billed me every month the same exact amount every month.
I'll do less than that, Vince, I promise. Half of that.
That's all I have.
All right,
Can I?
yes.
Ken Lee well drilling, drilled a well evidently at Fire Station 1.
Yes.
What inch well was that? Do we know what inch well that was? Because that seems like a
Yeah.
pretty
What
large
inch?
amount for a
How
well.
deep? I had that same, I've forgotten about that, yeah.
You'll
A lot
do
of
it.
money for a well.
It is. I went, the house I built next to you, twice as deep as average and nowhere
Yeah.
near that. And that's why I'm wondering how many inch
Mm-hmm.
the well was.
Well, it's a 150 gallon per minute pump, 10 horsepower motor, 460 volt control box. I don't think it's actually a new well. They just had to replace all the equipment on the existing well because that's the one they used to fill the trucks. New tank. So the only labor was $1,000. The rest of it was parts.
Did we bid that out, or? is that-
It was an emergency, I guess. Again, I was not here.
Yeah, I think
But it was
the-
an emergency.
The well pump failed, and so that's who was called out.
Okay, send me that one.
Next time you guys have a well issue, just shoot me a, I got a guy that'll come out right away. Lot less, I promise. Than
Okay.
Guaranteed.
All right, no problem.
Who's your guy?
But on this one,
Sunday.
yeah, I was not in the
So I was
state,
thinking Brian
and
too.
it was emergency. They had to be able to have a water source quick, in case.
Well, that's what Jenny's grandma ran out Christmas Day 2 years ago. Called them up, showed up,
Christmas Day?
Christmas Day.
Mhm.
Fixed, done, house full of people. So there's other people that will, so. and
Oh,
they're-
there
and they're-
is.
and
There-
they're- And I will tell you right now, that's why I was wondering how big of a well it is, because that sometimes equipment-wise makes a big difference there, but you're not 150 gallons a minute, is that what you said it was? That's, that's decent, but that's not anything that's abnormal. So I just think, just a
Yeah,
question.
no
Thank you.
problem.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions? Okay, the motion is in order to approve the expenditures excluding the invoice from, is it Ecpatec Technology Solution? And that was $3,432.50. Now, you also want to review the do you want to hold that back, or do you want to, for the Ken Lee well? But I mean, that was emergency, it had to happen,
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
to say, I mean, they can't, I guess it came right out.
It's kind of hard to do it.
I know, that's what I mean.
So we'll just look at it and see if we can learn from it.
All right,
And also, Bonnie, we're going to review Lawrence.
okay, you're right. And also invoice from Lawrence Engineering. I need those invoices reviewed, and Treasurer Tucker is going to review both.
Thanks, Bits.
Okay.
He'll pay me back, I'm sure.
What's this stuff about for bells are in here? What's this about?
I was going to ask that too.
It's all detailed out.
All right, this motion is in order to approve expenditures totaling the amount excluding these two.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Okay, motion is carried.
Are,
Oh, I'm sorry.
just clarification, because John and I signed it. You don't want us to send the checks either?
Just for Expect Tech, I think is the one.
Yeah, expect tech.
Okay, no, I'm just,
Yeah. I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think the rest of us just.
It's like the review.
Yeah.
All right, did you call it all?
yes, we're
All
all
right.
set.
Public hearings. Oh, go ahead.
Does Mr. Lorraine want to have some bidding thing done about the Expatec?
That wasn't me, I think that was Sean.
Oh,
Bidding for
Well, I'm
Expert
talking about locals. That-
Yeah.
Oh, when I talked about locals,
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I don't, I just couldn't know.
that
I
would
think
be
it's
something.
always good for government to get bids.
Are we under
If
contract?
we're
with them?
using the same company for 20 years or 15 years.
Haven't we got bids though for them on file?
Pardon?
Don't we bids for the computer company on file, because Mr. Tucker had said $85 an hour?
That's the rate they've been charging for, I can't remember how long, probably 12, 15 years. But
We
we have
can-
not
we
had a
can do it.
contract, a formal contract in place for quite a long time. It's been an ongoing
Okay,
business relationship.
if you desire that, we will do that.
I just, even printing everything I do in my company every 3 to 5 years, I look at almost everything.
I think this one had been reviewed, and we did have some other prices, but I don't know, there's no contract on it.
I've had, as we've done things, major
Yeah.
things, I've gotten other bids just to make sure we were in line. And I will say, after doing that, every time I've come back to
They're
this
nice.
company. So,
No one local?
yeah, somebody local is who I had review it.
No, I mean, in the bidding process.
Yeah.
Because I would
John,
always
yeah.
prefer using someone
Yeah,
local
yeah,
rather than
I-
somebody that's,
No, I understand. And that's who I got,
In our
somebody
tax base.
local. And, yeah.
And John looks at the invoices when it comes to computers, office equipment, and things like that. I mean, Mr. Broker does.
I don't
too.
see like, I don't have any idea on a monthly basis, the normal maintenance and fixie stuff. I don't have a feel for that, but the bigger things, we're replacing a server or doing a major thing, I will
He's
look
all-
at that and
Tom
usually
always
get.
lets him.
I always count on you. I do.
Yeah,
I try.
I do.
all right. Public hearings, none. Reports, are there any committee reports to be made to the board? Communications, none. Adoption of ordinances, none. Unfinished business, none. New business, resolution number 2017-2, supporting the DNR Canadian Goose Egg and Nest Destruction Program, Lake Fenton. In your packet is your letter explaining all about this. And in the audience, we have the president of Lake Fenton Association. George, do you want to just come up and explain to the board? I mean, we all know what it is, but then the public can hear it on television.
Okay, yeah, actually, what we're asking for is basically we were fortunate, I guess, I'm assuming most people know, for the 2 years before that, the program was going to be a roundup and capture roundup, and that involved a lot of discussion because it involves actually, that process requires you to capture birds, hopefully not harm them, so on and so forth, have companies take them away. And then they took them to other parts of the state, basically, and then redispersed them in the northern parts of the state. Well, 2 years ago, the state came up with, the geese had a problem with the virus in the birds. And it didn't take long to find out that there wasn't many counties in the north even that wanted birds that potentially had the virus. So they shut the whole program down, but they gave us, when I worked with the DNR for quite a while, it took a long time, but I got them to write us an exception letter. So that instead of waiting through the process of the capture and hold and then release program, we were able to move directly into the nest and egg destruction program, which is the program that they actually support, the one that is more effective, the one that doesn't really harm any birds or whatever, but yet still gives us the ability under DNR guidelines and regulations and requirements to actually control the population of Canada geese. So we started that program last year. 3 of us from the board actually went through the whole DNR training down in, where were we, down Lansing someplace, Norm? Close by or somewhere? Oh yeah. And anyways, it worked out very successful, and we didn't do anything with any kind. Other programs have continued to do both, actually do a nest and egg destruction program along with the capture and reallocation program. We haven't done that. We don't want to do that this year again. All we're looking for is just continuing on the same program we did last year, which is just to do a nest and egg destruction only for the Canada geese program to get our lake still under a better control of the total population of geese. So I'm here asking, as we are required by the DNR in order to get a permit, we have to get a resolution of support from the local government entities that the body of the water lies in. So that's why I'm here tonight. And if you got any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Have you seen any impact yet, George, or is it just too early?
Well, it's
yet?
hard. It's just 1 year, but based upon what people have told me, we're seeing a lot of good results. We still have a lot of geese. I mean, there are still plenty of geese, and they will still come in. Part of what the intention of the program is, and why they actually call nest destruction, is ideally what you're trying to do, and what the theory of the program is to not only prevent a new growth of more birds, but also to make the birds want to relocate someplace else by their natural habitat, because they find their returning nest isn't there, and they'll try to go to a different location. That's the ultimate drive of the logic of the program, is to try to get the birds to go to some other location. The problem is when you got a lake this size and so on and so forth, you can go a little ways, and it doesn't take you go very far, and you got another location, and it's such a big lake. But anyways, I think we had many positive feedback from the residents on the lake about fewer, but still some. I mean, you can't, there's still a lot. I shouldn't say some, still a lot.
Yeah, well, 1 year I wouldn't expect necessarily even a noticeable difference, but.
Yeah, and we probably didn't, but hopefully, it did have some kind of an impact, and if we can even scare a few adults away for the next time to go someplace else, it would hopefully just make the less this year, so, or in the following year. So that's what we're here for, and hoping you guys would support us. So, any other questions?
George, what month do they start in, for how long?
It only runs like a 2.5 week program, and I think it's in April, if my memory's right. About mid-April is when it runs. It's early in the year.
Okay.
And they do it. The DNR controls the entire dates. They control when the normal, what do I want to say, egg process occurs, and then you have to do them when the eggs are in certain status.
Yes.
They don't want you to do it, so you have to watch, you have to be sure they're warm and all those kind of things that the training we were provided with and understood. So, and there'll always be somebody, and any time that any of this is done, there'll always be one, at least a minimum of one trained person on board directly with the process. So.
How many is in your group that go out and do this?
Oh, we had last year, we just started last year, we probably had 4, 5, or 6 of us at times. It was a learning experience for us last year because it was the first time we ever did it, and you had to find out where these birds are at and the process it goes, and so it was very interesting. It was a good deal, and we never, and that was the other thing I wanted to tell you too, I should say that. As a resident on the lake myself, of course, all of us, you don't ever want people to necessarily trespass. So we did everything from water. None of us ever approached or got on top of anybody's property. Okay. And that's part of some of the negativity of not seeing all the results. Because these birds will go anywhere. They roost and nest on people's property, up in your bushes and stuff like that, anywhere. And if in fact it's to be more effective, what we're actually would like to have is residents that see those happening in their property and want to participate in the program to actually call us and give us authorization, because we did everything from water so that we did not trespass on any properties.
Good, good.
George?
Is there any other question?
Yeah, George, as a resident of the lake for almost 30 years,
Yeah.
I've never seen a problem with Canadian geese. I don't, they
Holy
don't seem
cow, you-
overpopulated. Let me finish, please. They don't seem overpopulated. I guess I don't personally, nor my family sees the problem. But I guess my question would be, to vote on this, I mean, what risk do the residents of the lake, I mean, are they exposed to disease? Are they disposed, or are we just talking about excrement on a lawn? I mean, why are we so worried about getting rid of the geese that we have?
Well,
Because like you said, they're not all gone, but your goal, it seems to me, is that you want them all gone.
No. That's never to, you never heard me say eradicate anything I've ever said on this thing. It's always been control the population, because that isn't the intent. But having said that, there are still large families of geese that come up on properties, and when they're all in a large concentration area, no matter where that is, just by the design and nature of the animal itself, or the bird itself, you get large concentrations of E. coli. People, in fact, residents with grandkids and stuff, can go and get E. coli related diseases if you're in the area when the geese have just left. I mean, I still have seen last year, even at the end of the year, groups of 50 to 60 in a group down by the barn at the end of in Cranes Cove down there, and it's unreal. And I mean, the quantity of pollutants, whatever you want to call it, they generate in a concentrated area can really be very dangerous to people or whatever that go through there, swim in it or whatever.
So we have documented evidence that the residents of Lake Fenton have gotten E. coli and things like that through emergency room visits, or?
I can answer that. The health department used to come and dip the water to see what was in the water. Well, now the health department doesn't have the employees, so they will ask the township to have a person go out with a little bucket or a little scoop, go out 4 feet into the water, get that water, put it in the bottle, and drive it into county. Last year, we were able to do it, but this year we don't have an employee that can go out there. So I had at one time asked one of your members, and they couldn't do it. So if you can get a member of your association, I think.
For the public beach area, you're saying?
Yeah,
for
for
the
our
testing?
public beach, for our public beach. We were shut down one time last year because of the E. coli, but it could come from all the thousands of seagulls also.
Seagulls is what I
You know, and especially this
suspect.
area, yeah.
Coming from the dump, and they sit,
Yep.
there's
We-
by the
you
thousands
and I
right in front of
see
my
the
house.
Seagulls, unbelievable. But if you could do that for us,
Well, I'll check on it for sure, and I'll ask and see if somebody on the board would be willing
If
to do
somebody on
that,
the
or
board
any
would-
other resident, doesn't have to be a board member.
yeah,
Just
and
say-
all we gotta do is register their name,
Okay,
and the day they get that water sample, they take it to county.
okay.
And I don't know, I think it's maybe once a month or something,
I
so
think
maybe
that-
only.
You know, I actually think the county, as of last year, was still doing it. They're just doing it on lakes that they pick, because they're still doing it on some of the lakes in Genesee County, I believe. They still show the report on their website, but it doesn't have Lake Fenton on it.
No, they don't do Fenton Lake anymore.
No, I don't, I'm saying they don't. But I think the county is doing it on some other lakes, but I'll check to see if we
Check
can
and
find
see,
somebody
because
that can do that for
We
here.
were,
for
our
sure.
beach was shut down one time last year,
Right.
and I believe Lake Panema also. But, all right, is there any other questions to Mr. Dyball? Thank you, George.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, is there any board discussion in regards to it? No. All right. Resolution number 2017-02. Clerk Krug, would you please present the resolution?
Yes, thank you. whereas the Lake Fenton Property Owners Association wishes to make application to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources to participate in the Canada Goose Egg and Nest Destruction Program on and around Lake Fenton in 2017, whereas such application must be supported by a governing body of the local unit of government, and whereas the Fenton Township Board supports the efforts of the Lake Fenton Property Owners Association to control the population of Canada geese to benefit the health, safety, and welfare of lake residents. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Board of the Chartered Township of Fenton hereby supports the application of the Lake Fenton Property Owners Association to participate in the MDMR Canada Geese Egg and Nest Destruction Program in 2017.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So I have, okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Okay, motion is carried. All right, we thank you, George and Mr. Lang. The next one is proposed repair of the street drain catch basins. Genesee County Road Commission has identified 6 storm drain catch basins that are in need of repair. The total estimate cost of these repairs is $32,400, which, if approved, will be shared equally with the Road Commission. The areas are Cutler Drive, Silverwood Drive, North Shore Drive, Golden Shores Drives. There's three of them, so that totals 6. This is one thing that's very important, and especially that we're going to have the cost shared. Do I have any board discussion in regards to this?
What is the issue with them? They're just breaking
They're
down?
they're just overgrown. The dirt comes in, the grass comes in, they're not taken care of. Used to be, if I'm not mistaken, Tom, subdivisions would be that they would say that they would keep them maintained when they would build a subdivision, and they're just total
Well,
neglect.
in this case, these aren't really a maintenance issue. They are actually falling apart and have to be rebuilt. 'Cause cleaning them out, the road commission will do that, but this is actually rebuilding them so they will function. And if they sink or just fall apart where they're not lined up, they're not actually performing the drainage that they're supposed to do.
And this is for catch basins in the roads?
Yes.
How are they
Public
located?
street.
I mean, how was this group picked? Did somebody drive them, some complain?
The road commission looked at all of them that needed to be repaired and gave us the 6 worst ones. Because the list is much longer than 6.
Yeah.
So they go out, they determine what we need,
The
and then
road-
they say that they will cover 50% of the cost.
Mhm.
So do we have an option? Can we just say, no, we're not gonna do it? And
Sure.
Yeah, but then it would be disaster. See, when I read this, it said repairs, so I was thinking that's what we were doing. And it is repairs, but they're in dire need, especially if you look at these, go down into these streets and see it, yes.
Well, as Tom just stated though, these are the top 6, so if there's 20, and you say it would be a disaster, then are there 14 of them out there that are gonna be a disaster, or?
No, this is top 6, and then we'll just see how they, if you had 20, this is top 6. We can only afford so many, and so we're trying to do the top priority of them.
Is there a limit on the match? Because the match is obviously an attractive thing.
I don't believe so. Is there, Tom? The match is 50%, whatever. I think we actually stated approximately how much money we would be allowed to be able to do it at a certain time. Now it'll come back to us, and we'll have to do more when it's needed, but these 6 really need it bad. And if you see Golden Shores Drive, there's 3 of them right there. That's bad.
Yeah, I don't get that way, so but I believe in prevention too, so 1 ounce of prevention, and somebody else is paying for half the ounce, I think
You're
it's
right.
kind of a good plan.
Do I have a motion to approve the repair of storm drain catch basins at the following locations? Cutler Drive, Silverwood Drive, North Shore Drive, and then there's 3 of them on Golden Shores Drive, a total of 6.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Shoemaker.
Yes.
All right, we're going to move on to the PEG grant application of Linden, Fenton, and Lake Fenton schools. Operation Manager Tom Broker, would you like to talk in regards to this? Tom goes to the meetings, and they're what, once a month, Tom? Once a month, Tom?
Every other month.
Every other month. So would you like to give us an update of what's happening?
Certainly. At the last meeting of the FACT Consortium, the consortium recommended approval of funding for the grant. It was a joint application of the 3 school districts to purchase new equipment to augment and or replace existing equipment for their video production programs, which provides video content for the PEG channel. The total estimated amount for the grant was $166,441.02. As with the last couple of grants, they're suggesting that up to amounts are approved because ultimately, once the equipment is ordered and purchased, the prices have gone down a little more, so rather than, and then we don't get billed until they actually obtain the equipment. The percentages you see, on the last page, I think in the packet, in that part of it, is how we allocate the grants based on our respective PEG fee revenue. Since 2016 numbers are not yet known, we don't have all those dollars in yet. We're still using 2015, but the percentages do not vary significantly year to year. So the township share of this would be $69,800 and change. So the recommendation is to approve up to that amount, and then the payments will be made once the equipment is acquired by the schools. They pay for it, and then we reimburse them from the PEG funds.
And to be clear, when you say the township's portion, you don't mean Fenton Township is paying that, you mean Fenton Township's
Yes.
portion of the PEG grant money.
Yes.
Correct.
Just,
Yeah.
I know the answer to the question,
That we
but
receive-
it
Which
should
in
be
fairness
confusing.
is the residents' money still.
It's
Just to be-
resident.
Just to,
Right.
you know,
And so that's-
it's taken from them, so.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why we want to use it. You know,
Well,
you
it
have
can only- it can only be
69,000 if
used
we
for this
can.
kind of thing. That's the issue, so.
Absolutely.
It would be nice if we could do other things with it, but we can't, so.
Oh, well, there is some that now Tom and our young gentleman in there talked about, and it's in regards to updating this so the people can hear us. This will come out of this. Tom, do you want to explain that?
Well, we don't have any real details. Rand and I have
But
discussed a couple
definitely
of
update the
options,
system.
replacing the microphones with ceiling mounted ones that will pick everything up so we don't have to deal with the wireless. Also adjusting the way the PA system works to reduce feedback. Also, there are some new capabilities with the equipment purchased in the last year or so at the hub end where we could, in effect, run our own internal PEG channel at the office, where we could have our own slideshows, run our meetings, or run the live feed of Channel 191. Channel 191 actually is live streaming through YouTube on the web now. So people can, even if they don't have charter, they can watch what's on Channel 191. So over the next few months, Randon and I are going to put together a proposal to use PEG funds to purchase the equipment necessary to make some of those upgrades and improvements here at the township.
There was a small discrepancy in the dollar amount you recited and the amount listed at the beginning of the application. Is that an error or is that change in time? It's just $300 or something.
Okay, the application, okay, yeah, there's the 166.7.
Right.
Yeah, if you look at the last page where where we break out the numbers,
Yeah. You got
We actually-
166.4 there.
right, if you look right above that, we sold some old equipment.
Oh, okay.
And so that anytime we sell old equipment, that will be netted out of any applications
Okay.
before we spread it.
Okay, got it.
How do they determine which school gets? Are we just giving them what they asked for? Because I've noticed a big discrepancy, you know, Fenton, Linden, and then Lake Fenton goes. How do they determine that? Is it just what they asked for?
I think it may be relative to the size of the program. Lake Fenton being a smaller school may not need quite as much equipment. I don't know if they've got fewer students potentially. I know since Randon has become the PEG coordinator, he has reviewed all the purchases and made sure that they're being as efficient as possible with the dollars, not buying things they don't need, suggesting alternatives that would save money. But for the most part, if the PEG coordinator says that he believes the requests are justified for the equipment they need, then the consortium is
Would it be,
recommending approval.
My question is.
maybe residents in the school district in the township?
That's what I think it is. I
Well,
think it is.
no, that's what I'm asking. Is it proportional to, let's say we have 100 people live in Lake Fenton schools that live in our township and 50 that live in the township, but they go to Fenton schools.
Yeah.
And we're giving a larger amount of their money to Fenton schools? That's my question. So the people who are paying the majority of the bill,
If I live in Lake Fenton School District and I pay for my PEG portion, does it go to Lake Fenton schools, is what he's asking.
how do they divide the percentage is what I'm saying? Is it a fair percentage, or is it just like I'm seeing that this is what they need because they're a bigger school, so once again, the smaller school is paying the bill for the bigger school?
I don't believe there's been any effort to try to equalize the amounts requested by the three school districts.
Okay,
All right, now, Tom, when is the next time you go to the meeting?
Our next meeting is in April.
In April. Could you find out how they figure that out?
Well,
Because we've always get the bigger amount, no matter what.
Well, we have, of the consortium, we have the largest amount of PEG receipts.
Yeah,
So our percentage is higher.
yep.
But we also, we have students in all three school districts.
mm-hmm.
So as far as trying to, I think each year the programs look at what they need and come up with a list, not necessarily looking at what the other school districts are requesting. I could go back and see what the amounts have been in past. They aren't always the same mix. This one's actually a little closer than some of the other ones, I think.
Are there representatives of each of the school districts on the PEG board?
Actually, all three superintendents sit on the FACT consortium. They're non-voting because they don't generate the revenues, but they do participate.
Who votes?
The four communities that have PEG funds, so it's Tyrone Township, us, City of Fenton, City of Linden.
Who actually votes for us? I mean,
Me.
You're our voter?
Yeah.
I'm appointed to that consortium. Yes.
Okay.
Used to be years ago Carmody, and then Keith McKenna. Keith McKenna was the one that started this.
Tom, can you explain the income, just to the residents?
The income?
Yeah.
Well, the revenues are generated, the 2% PEG fee that's on the cable bills is collected by the cable company and then remitted to the township. And that those funds are restricted for use for capital purchases for PEG programming. And that's where the revenues come from.
Okay, so here's a question. If I was, and I'm just going to use an analogy of computers. We set aside 2%, or the cable company collects 2%, which is a tax to our residents. And $170,000 comes in. So the schools know there's $170,000 of revenue coming in, and then they're asked to spend it. Well, the price of a computer was $12,000 15 years ago. Now it's $500,000. We've got $170,000 of the revenue coming in. Why aren't we going maybe back to our taxpayers, our residents, and saying we could probably reduce your tax to 1% and still give the schools, I'm for giving the schools everything that they need for this program. But do they really need to spend $170,000 every year? to, I mean, I'm looking at this, I would love to have a company that I could just, I knew every year $170,000 was coming in that I could spend. That wasn't my money. It's taxpayers' money. So wouldn't we like to look at maybe reducing the grant percentage if the schools can live with $80,000?
That opportunity actually will come up. Our franchise with Charter expires in May. And that franchise agreement sets the PEG percentage. One thing that our group has been looking at is we are starting to see, not significant, but we're actually starting to see the revenues drop. And as technology changes, the belief is that in probably less than 10 years, cable TV as we know it today won't exist.
Correct.
And this revenue stream will be gone. And so the thought was, okay, we don't need to spend it all, and we don't. We've actually, we have a fair amount in the bank still of these restricted funds. If we can still collect as much as we can, once the revenues dry up, we can still continue the programming for some time after that.
But there would still be a service provider to our community that we could still
Well, the service
levy the.
Well, but the PEG fees, if the TV entertainment is provided through the internet, PEG fees don't apply. So that revenue will, if the technology goes the way everyone thinks, that revenue will be gone in the foreseeable future. And so the thought was, if we want to still have public TV programming like what we're doing now, then having a plan in place to, reserve some of those funds to extend the life of that programming makes some sense. And also maybe looking for other revenue sources if we want to continue beyond that.
The flaw in the premise is assuming that if you reduce the PEG grant rate, that the rates will drop. That doesn't necessarily follow. You might just be increasing Charter's profit margin by taking less out. Not saying it couldn't.
No, if they're taking 2%, it's a direct pass-through to the township. If they only collect 1, it's not going to increase their revenue or their profit. It's because it's just a.
There could be another fee added on, or 1% somewhere else.
Well, like I said, I look at my bill and there's like 19 fees on there that are tagged for this, and if we could reduce the tax burden to our constituents, I mean,
So the only people that pay
I
this
look
are
at
people
what
that subscribe to cable.
Right.
Charter, and we also receive funds from AT&T. as well,
AT&T, yeah.
For UVerse customers.
There's a statutory basis for collecting it, but I don't think it dictates the amount.
Well, the maximum is 2%.
2%. Yeah, we're collecting the maximum.
In the Uniform Video Franchise Act, the agreement, the maximum for PEG fees is 2%. And most communities that do collect it, collect 2%.
What's the reserve we have in that account after expected expenditures from this year?
I'd have to look it up. I don't have it right at my fingertips. I'm going to say it's around 300,000.
Wow. That's all I have.
Is there any other questions from the board? Board discussion? Here I go again with my glasses. Motion to approve funding for PEG grant applications of Linden Community Schools, Fenton Area Public Schools, and Lake Fenton Community Schools up to the total amount of $69,825.53 as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
I vote yes. Shoemaker,
No.
Kessler,
Yes.
All right, motion is carried. All right, resignation from Zoning Board of Appeals and Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors. Clerk Krug has submitted his resignation from the Township Board seat on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and as representative to the Southern Lakes Park and Rec Board of Directors. Board action is required to formally accept these resignation. I need a motion to accept with regrets the resignation of Robert Krug from the Township Board seat on the Fenton Township Zoning Board of Appeals.
So moved.
Do I have a second? And you support it, okay. Further discussion?
I will voice what I said to Clerk Krug in the elevator. I hope he does not take it personally when I vote no on this action item, because I'm going to vote no on this action item, and I have confirmed that it does require a affirmative vote of the board, so I'm going to vote no.
Okay, and so I'm going to give you roll call, please.
Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Tucker,
No.
Gopel,
Yes.
Motion is carried. Motion to accept with regrets the resignation of Robert Krug from the Southern Lakes Park and Recreation Board of Directors.
So moved.
Do I have a sec? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
I vote yes. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Tucker,
No.
Okay, motion is carried. Appointment, now we have to go into appointments to Fenton Township Zoning Board of Appeals. I'd like to discuss if there's anyone interested in filling this seat, this appointment. And you want to just tell me, are you saying yes, Mr. Lorraine?
I would be.
Okay. Is there anyone else? For zoning board? Mark?
No, he
Kessler,
can-
Tucker?
I've done it before.
Yeah, I know, and you liked it.
I'm
It's
certainly
interesting.
For passing the
Hard work.
No.
I've been on the zoning board, but not the appeals.
On planning, yeah. You've been
Yeah,
on
planning.
planning, yeah. All right, a motion to appoint Vince Lorraine to the Fenton Township Board seat on the Fenton Township Zoning Board of Appeals for the term ending November the 20th, 2020.
So moved.
Second? For,
Supervisor, the term of any elected official on the board matches up to their term in office.
oh, really?
which,
Right, that's what this is.
which
That's what
is
it would be.
2020.
2020?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Didn't- I
November
didn't-
20th, 2020.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Okay.
That's the
all
board
right,
term,
cool.
yes.
Okay, cool.
All right, I got the motion. Do I have a second?
Support, yes.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Gopel,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
I also vote yes.
Okay, motion is carried. You'll have to get with Valerie and for the scheduling and that. Appointment,
If I could also, what I would suggest, and maybe Mr. Lorraine has a copy of it, but MTA publishes booklets for each of the elected positions, and there's probably something for the ZBA, tells you duties, responsibilities, and whatnot. So if there is such a thing,
I've
I
got,
think there is, maybe you could have somebody in the office get one.
I've got Mr. Broker, I already have him on that for all of our positions now.
I was going to
And
call
that was
Mr.
the
Cruz
suggestion from you to me, yep.
just to see if he had anything.
Yeah, and then Vince, we're gonna, MTA is coming up, different conferences and things like that. And I think when this comes up, I'm gonna give it to the zoning board and even planning commission. I think our members need to go to class
I
on
went to
new
one.
things.
But I'll be glad to go again.
Okay, so that's all in the making right now, too.
Okay.
All right. Excuse me. Appointment to the Southern Lakes Park and Rec Board of Directors. Is there any board discussion? I'm looking for someone that would like to be appointed.
I'll do it.
Okay, Mr. Ketzler, is there anyone else? All right, a motion to appoint Rob Ketzler as Fenton Township representative on the Southern Lakes Park and Rec Board of Directors for the term ending. All right, now this is different. December 31st, 2018. Should it be November 20th?
The
No.
three-year terms over it.
This is not a, this is
This
not
is not a
necessarily
political.
board
Not a
appointment.
township
Got it. So it's 3-year term.
term.
So ending December 31st, 2018. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
I vote yes. Shoemaker.
Yes.
All right, board comments. Are there any other comments from the members of the board?
We talked about doing a workshop next Monday
Monday?
night.
Uh-huh.
I went to put it on my calendar and I did not recall what time. We said we were.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock?
Mhm.
Okay. There was also a request for the union contract to be circulated. I went to dig it out and I see that Tom had just sent this out. I think it was December 22nd. So check your emails. Everybody should already have a copy of that contract.
What? There's a new
no.
contract that was disseminated?
No.
The existing union contract. We needed to look at it so we can start.
Start
preparing
working
for
on
the
it.
Send
I
out
did not get
just
that.
around Christmas.
December 22nd. I will double
I don't
check here
remember
since
getting
I
mine.
have-
Just
You would have
before-
emailed it?
I think it was before Thanksgiving.
All right,
It was brought up at a meeting, so it was within a day or two after that it was brought up. I don't know exactly.
I'll have to
when it
look
was.
Money's
again.
on December
If you've got it
Yes.
at,
Yeah, it was sent out. I did
I'm looking at it
we
now.
got it on the
Yeah,
22nd.
right, yeah.
on the 22nd, okay,
Yeah.
union contract. And then could you also email Mr. Belzer?
I
in
got the
regards to-
property inventory.
All right, now, I didn't go into new business, yes. Mr. Broker received a parcel of property that we got back. What, Vince?
Sorry.
Are you set?
4:52 p.m.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Vince Lorraine at hotmail.com.
4:52. I
Just
got it
checked it.
too.
I didn't have it.
You didn't get it? I don't know if I did anyway.
It's a Word document, so your filters might have grabbed it.
Yeah, my spam might have got it, because I just checked it.
You didn't get
Do you
it.
need
I
it
don't
in
remember
PDF?
mine either, but I
I
bet you it's
always
there.
recommend that they send everything in a PDF.
Okay.
It's easier for me.
Okay.
Tom, will you just
Yep.
PDF it to him?
Yep, I can.
You might, let me check mine
Does everybody
tomorrow.
else
I
have
might
it?
have to get
I got
one.
mine.
All right, this piece of property, like I told you, is on Fenton Road, right there by Dollar Lake. We did get a proposal, an offer on this property. I don't know if you want to put it out and have it get more offers. This offer is a lot less than what the assessor says the property is valued at. So I don't want to give the amount on television right now, because then if somebody bids, they can just bid a few dollars over it when this person came in and they're very interested in it. So what is the wishes of the board?
Well, it don't matter what they bid at. I mean, honestly, we can reject any $2 incremental bid until we find out one that we're happy with, so.
All right.
I don't know that we
We
have
need
to.
a process to figure out what it's worth. Can we go, is there a mechanism to shut down and discuss a contract so that we don't have to do this on, or?
Well,
we gotta-
buying or selling real estate, sure, you can have an executive session.
Yeah, why don't we just do
But
that?
we didn't post, did we?
No, you don't, if this is a regular meeting, you don't have to.
Okay,
Then we can just can the video of it and talk about it, but I think we have to come up with a mechanism to value it. There's different ways of doing it.
you're right.
And I'm not ready to do anything until I see it. I have no
Yeah.
idea how big it is, I know, idea
That's-
how many dollars it
I-
is.
Is there a for sale sign or anything on
No,
this property?
a building was tore down last Friday or
Wouldn't it
something.
be
We get an
expedient
offer.
to put a sign up saying, if you're interested in buying this, call the township?
I think
hall?
so.
You
I
could
think
be a
so.
broker, Jack.
No, but it's true. You know, we might really get a much bigger bid on, a higher bid on it. And like, the building was just torn down on, I don't know, Thursday or Friday of this week, or last week,
It was Monday of last week.
Monday of last week. And so people don't even know we have it up for sale.
Well, Tom, it's only because, not that I want to spend more money, I mean, by paying out commissions or anything, but to me, houses, people wouldn't hire real estate people to represent them and sell their homes if they thought they were going to get less at the end. And to me,
Right.
we don't have anyone, and it seemed to me the MTA would have some organization that townships could use that, to sell their properties. I mean, townships all over the state, all over
And we've got
the
quite a
country
few that we're
get
gonna have to
reverted
sell.
properties back, and we have no mechanism to go out there and see to value what we have, to make sure that we're getting the best dollar for our residents. And it's crazy to me, because we talk about saving money because we don't want to pay brokerage fees, but at the same time, if I went to sell my house today, I probably, knowing I'm going to have to pay a fee, I'm probably going to hire a real estate person, because more than likely I'm going to be represented better. That's like going into court myself without Jack. I mean, to me, I would feel a little, or John,
No,
I'd feel a
Jack.
little negative. I mean, to me, why wouldn't we have, there's got to be a mecanism that we
I
can value
agree.
these properties and know what we're doing, because I'm not going to vote either. Just like John said, I
Well,
have no
like-
clue what that property's worth, how to
Absolutely
vote,
not.
whether I should sell it, and I'm not going to know unless I have
No,
a
we need
professional
to
come in
talk
here and
about
tell
it.
me.
The assessor, though, can give you a pretty good clue of what that property's valued at, and she is. But Tom, what did she say?
Well, she valued that property at 26, the land, which is not
Just
what was
land.
on the report I sent out, because she'd sent me a report. I thought she'd already excluded the building, and she hadn't, so that
Right,
report
we have an
fine.
assessor.
But-
Oh, sorry.
Assessor.
We need to go on executive. I can't, there's too many
agree with
issues I
John.
can't talk
I
about
agree with
here.
John.
That's me too, because an assessor can tell you what the property's worth,
And
but
I-
to me, my house can be assessed at, $1 million, but if I got someone that can sell it for 1.2, we all are winners. So to me, I mean,
All right, so
I
now-
have a lot of questions.
And you want to do that tonight, or do you want to
No.
look at this in the next
What?
board meeting, go into executive section, and we'll have more
Or we
details?
can just do it Monday. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it Monday.
Let's
Add it to
do
the
that.
agenda on Monday.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
yeah. And we'll get more information for you, but like I said, this
Tom?
just happened.
When is the MTA meeting this year and where?
It's April in Lansing.
And that's a lot less,
We get any
Oh, drive
information
in
on
Grand
that
Rapids.
application, I'll get it to you.
Thanks.
yeah, I went to Detroit.
That's when I went, it was a blizzard, absolute blizzard down there.
They go between Detroit, Lansing, and Grand
Well, that's
Rapids.
the first time in a long time it's been on Lansing.
Yeah,
A long time.
Lansing ticked them off for some reason. No, they did.
So what we'll do with that MTA, when we get the applications, we'll get them to all of you, and we will make sure you're,
Love to go.
you'd be able to go.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. So that's why I agree. I think we need to figure out what the assessor, the different costs, I mean, just happen. And I can see a person who would, like, if they like it, contact us right away. I mean, I can see that.
Well, we sit here and we don't hold a meeting without legal representation. But we are supposed to all be real estate experts. I would feel a lot more comfortable with somebody telling me, or whether that's not, I'm not talking about a broker. I don't care if that's somebody internally within the township, but we need a way to market them.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, I think we need to, from A to Z, and I think we could figure that out with all the brains in this room very quickly.
Yeah, this is.
Good, but
yes,
that's good
we
news.
already agreed
Somebody's jumping
to get
on
a
it.
realtor last time.
I'm happy with that.
Property's moving right now.
Yes. All right. Is there any public comment? The public has left. So I will say, good evening. The meeting is
That's the kind of
adjourned.
public comment, isn't it? Either way, we're not here.